Once you have all your pictures saved into your Z drive, make sure that you've returned the SD card and that you've returned the camera. You're going to go to the Start menu and you are going to open up Word. Once Word is open, go ahead and pull this off to the side so that you have this video going on one side and you have your Word document on the other. Then you are going to go to File, Open. From there, you need to go to your S drive, as in Sam, the Art folder, 2013 Fall Art 1. And if I ever get going too fast, which I will go fast, just pause the video until you catch up. Semester Final, Period 1 and 7. Then you will need to find the one that says Standard 4 Art Reflection. From there, it might ask if you want a Word or a read-only copy. Just click Yes, and then we immediately need to save these. So go to File, go to Save As, and then you are going to save it as your last name. Oops, I'm on the wrong thing. As your last name, space first name, and then click Save. All right. The first part of this is you've watched the video, so you can delete that line. The purpose of Art 1 is to turn you into an artist. You should be able to talk like an artist, know the jargon and the vocabulary, and you should be able to design a good composition without instruction. This then allows all the classes that follow Art 1 to focus on the craft of art. So Drawing 1 only teaches drawing, and it's assumed that you already know how to make it look good, just like digital photography only teaches photography. In this paper, in this paper, you are proving that you have met or exceeded the standard of the class. You will use your work on the final and the grade that you currently have in the 3 standards as justification. So you should have a grade sheet by now. If you feel these grades or the work on your final do not reflect your actual knowledge, this is your opportunity to justify higher scores. This is also your opportunity to prove to me that the grades I have are accurate. If, for example, the work on your final does not reflect the grades you currently have, it will prove to me that you should have the higher version. So once you read something and do it, you just delete it. So you would delete that from your side. Then, like if I had this over here, you're deleting as we go. Then you went to save and you saved as your last name, so hit delete. You're deleting out the steps as you delete them, so hit delete. You are now going to insert all your pictures. The directions of what you need to do are here. To do that, you just go to the first box, you go to Insert, you go to Picture, you find your pictures that you have saved in the Z drive, Art folder, and Art 1 folder. Make sure that if you need to change the view so that you can see your image, you're clicking on it, and then you're clicking Insert. Once the picture is inserted, anytime it wants, there it goes. Once your picture is inserted, it will probably open up way too big, which is fine. We'll just resize it. Hopefully this will take just a second here as it opens. There it goes. And then to resize your picture, you just click on the little toggle in the corner and resize. And I always start at the top and I kind of resize down because I think it tends to go faster. And then how big do you need the picture to be? You need it to be big enough that I can still see your answers, but we don't need to have it excessive, so that's just fine. You would insert your next picture. Once your pictures are inserted, then you would go up and you would delete out these directions and make sure you do all of your pictures. I would go through the whole thing and do pictures first. Then the actual writing that you are going to do on this step is you're going to go ahead and put your name, just select out the lines and type it in, select out the period, select out your number and type it in. Then you're going to scroll down. You are going to write a paragraph, and this paragraph is going to reflect on what you learned for Standard 1. Standard 1 is being able to understand and identify art vocabulary. In this paragraph, you are going to tell me how you have grown in this standard, and I want you to be specific in comparing picture 1 and picture 2. I also want you to be clearly using the terms. Like for picture 1, I thought that structural lines were blah, 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 blah. Or I didn't even have a clue. I couldn't even provide an answer. And now I understand that structural lines are da, 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 da. I would say this is true for all of the terms or some of the terms or however you see it within art. Then you are going to continue with what evidence do you have that you've met this standard. So that's the work that I was explaining there where you talk about structural lines. You can also reference art that you've already made, or you could reference the scores that you've gotten on the different tests that we have taken. And then the third thing is, what learning do you still have to do on this standard? How will this influence your future art classes? It says something to me if you specifically understand that you're not good at balance and you're never going to fully understand balance, and every time a teacher introduces a unit that focuses on balance, that you will have to go back to that textbook and refresh your memory of what the different types of balance are. This, to me, being able to have that high level of metacognition or your ability to think about thinking is just as good as whether you actually know the knowledge or not. So that can really help me influence and change scores. Make sure you're being specific in the examples and that you're writing a minimum of 3 sentences. Most students will need 6 to 10 to provide enough evidence to justify their current grade in Standard 1. You are going to repeat this for Standard 2, Standard 3, and then that would be the end. Make sure you are keeping track of your time, and I will be telling you when you should be moving on to the next standard. Once you've finished, you are going to make sure that you are hitting save as you work, and then we will end up printing these out, and we will print at the end as a class.